hope that this is coming through okay. I hope the microphone is working properly. We'll find out here shortly. I'm just going to give an overview of what's going on. I haven't been on very much as far as video goes, but I just want to do a refresher, get everything together, and start doing this thing. Who I am. I'm lucky. All right. I have been lucky. I've been lucky a lot throughout my life. When I say lucky, that doesn't mean I'm famous or rich or anything like that. It means that I'm alive. Through extraordinary circumstances, I am still alive. So I call myself lucky. And so many people throughout my life have told me, "You're so lucky. You've done this, this, this." There was nothing lucky about that, really. So I just grabbed the name and took it for myself. And basically, luck is what you make it. Somebody told me recently, they said that luck is when you are prepared and opportunity comes. Okay. Being prepared is the most crucial part of it, is you have to be prepared for the luck to come in. Me, sometimes I was prepared. Most of the time I was prepared for happenstance, which that's a lot to do with it. Also making sure that you don't do bad things in the luck, if that makes sense. You don't abuse luck like that. So yeah. Anyway, that's why I'm called lucky. Anyway, this is Quantum Connections. Quantum Connections because I'm always seeing connections in all these different things. All these years for the past, just all my life, I've seen connections between things, just patterns and connections, just seen it. And I wasn't able to elocute what I was seeing or how I was seeing it. I just saw it. But for the past 20 years, what is this, 2025? Yeah, for a long time, 20 years now, it's like a lot of things have come to the fore. And in 2007, I came across InfoWars, Prison Planet. The reason I did that is in my Christian walk, I was, following as what is done. John Hagee had a book, and I read it. It was something as done to Israel, so will do, blah blah blah. Anyway, in regards to that curse, blessing, whatever have you. Anyway, so it was through that I was looking at some Israeli news site and things like that. Saw this ad for Obama deception, and so I watched it. It was a documentary, and that was from Alex Jones. And so I went to Prison Planet, and then I became a member, and then I became a member of the forum and started learning how to do research the way researchers in our genre do. I felt like, wow, there's other people like me. They're seeing these things, and they're mentioning it. They're saying it. They're not just, yeah, everybody was saying they're conspiracy theory, but guess what? There's conspiracy theory comes out of, well, no, that's not the right way to say it either. Theory is just, an idea, and now you have to find the science that proves it out, right? But the thing is that these weren't just theories. There was too many coincidences, coinky dinks. But anyway, so that's when I started getting into the research and started studying a lot of different things and learning a lot and just, it was a nonstop montage of shock. And so there it is. Anyway, so in that I got attached to, I shouldn't say it that way, but, I was making friends in this realm, especially in that forum. A lot of people, there was like 8 million people in that forum, I think, something like that. That was a lot of people. And they're all studying all this stuff that we're producing, and every time a law came out, we were all just parsing it, and we're finding out all the little secret things that they were sticking in these laws that we were not approving of, but the title of the law was different than what, anyway, so it goes on and on. This is international people that was contributing and learning from, and by working together, we got to discover more about what was going on in these different countries when it happened, and etc. So moving on. So, of course, there's always going to be division, and there's going to be fractures and things like that. And so in that fracture, there was a big division in the Prison Planet forum. And what happened is I went to a place called War on You. And that's because, when you get banned from Prison Planet, you got to land somewhere, right? And got to learn a lot more. And somebody really shook my whole world up because it also had to do with religion. When they asked me, why is Zyklon B? And I'm like, oh God, no, and I used to read MSDSs, so material safety data sheets. And so I had to look that up, and I'm like, oh man, got another big lie in our education system, in our society that is like holy writ, So anyway, that I had to live with that for a long time. And then from there, let's see, got to work with TFR, which is Truth Frequency Radio, and I was working with them a lot, and that was for quite a few years. And I had gone to former Yugoslavia, and I stayed there for a while. And when I got back to the States, I got to host a radio show called Quantum Connections. It used to be Truth Frequency News, and because I handled their website for truthfrequencynews.com back in the day, and we busted a lot of news. We did a lot of work. It was some incredible work that we had done, and groundbreaking and things like that. Working through Twitter. I was not into Facebook so much because no. Anyway, I didn't do Facebook until I got back to the States, and then started working with, when I was a host on the radio station, I used I used Facebook to post, to promote and things like that. But I'm hardly ever on Facebook anymore. I can't stand it because it's just, well, first off, it's totally barren. It's amazing how barren it is. Because of all the censorship through the 2020 thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to call it the 2020 thing because, well, anyway, moving on. So from there, I was hosting, I was helping produce on TFR. I got to produce a lot of work, and I, helped a lot of hosts and such. Well, we saw some of us saw the writing on the wall of what was going on with programming, with computing, with online activities, internet, media. We got to see the writing on the wall, and I had a vision that radio hosts were going to be having video capabilities during their shows, and I had seen it. It wasn't my idea, of course, but it was, there. I happened to go into a Mexican restaurant, and I was picking up an order for lunch for the office ladies and everything, and I saw on their screens that they had a radio station playing in Mexican. They were playing, listening to Mexican music and sports or whatever. I don't know exactly. They were speaking Spanish. I don't know it anymore. Anyway, so they had video cameras in there in the radio studio, and I was like, that's the future. That's the future of broadcasting. Even radio, you're going to need to have a video component involved with it, because people want to see these talking heads, the voices, or the face behind the voice, and it kind of did away with, as what's his name? Rush Limbaugh had said many years ago, I have a face for radio, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of us who have a face for radio, but we realize now we have to go and be real before people, because a lot of people throughout a lot of the population in the world, they want authenticity. They want authenticity, and so they're going to they want to see the face behind the voice. Anyways, so let's see. I'm going through the list here. Okay, so what we did is, because the evolution of broadcasting and media, and alternative media, especially because we were alternative media, in that evolution that we had in the past, 7-8 years, some of us realized we're going to have to go with open source, decentralized, get away from the legacy programming operating systems, because holy crap, if those of you who are on the legacy ones, such as, I'm going to say, Apple and Microsoft, if you're on that, you're going to be astonished when you go to Linux and you start going decentralized. It's not just decentralized, it's open source stuff. It's such a cleaner system. It doesn't lag down. You don't have that, that whirligig going on all the time. The only time I get the whirligigs is if internet is actually acting up, It's amazing. it's so much cleaner, and it's like, I don't have to sit there and worry if something's going to hack me or anything like that. It's amazing. Anyway, so with that, no, with that knowledge, not only decentralized and open source, we decided to go platformless, if you will. That's the only way I can say it. Basically decentralized. We do not depend on any one platform to air our product, or to air or to carry our videos or audio. We're not just like we don't depend on one source or two sources for our news and for our information. Same is true that we do not broadcast with just one platform or two or three. We don't do the mainstream. We do. I mean, we can go on X, we can go on Rumble. Rumble's now, Rumble was an alternative platform. Now it seems to be the main platform because YouTube is part of Google, which is that same legacy platform system. So basically what we're doing is we're finding all kinds of different ways to broadcast our signal. And I have to give props to Brooks Agnew. Brooks Agnew is really good at that. He cast the seed far and wide, let's say. Anyway, let's see. So let's see. So we started it's called Truth Refugee. You can go to truthrefugee.com. Just type it in your Google and it'll get you there. Okay. And it's really neat because we also learned that, we've learned a lot of things about who's behind what and what platforms and things like that. It's really interesting. Yeah. Some of the stuff, it's some of the things that we have discovered anyway, but trying to find the right thing and the right fit, but being flexible, I think, is the most important thing in this whole operation, is being flexible and finding that, it's kind of like if you're walking along in nature and there's a rocky outcropping around a creek or something like that. You don't want to fall in and everything like that. So you have to constantly move and, keep your balance, but at the same time, you can't keep your balance on one foot all that time. You're going to have to use your other foot and get balance and get other rocks and, to stay aloft. But anyway, that's what we're having to do. It's constant motion, it's constant balancing act here. And that's the most important thing is the balance. So why do we do this? Why do we set up Truth Refugee? Because we knew it was decentralized. We had to do decentralization. Let's see. We know that time is no longer linear. Now that's a whole basket of interesting right there. Time is not linear anymore, and anybody who understands steampunk probably can envision far better than a lot of others. But let's say it this way. Yes, we have a clock. Yes, we have to clock into work. We have to do this. We have to do that. That's the old way of doing things, because if you look at the fractal universe, and if you even look at the mechanisms of a clock, right, you've got all these little gears and you've got fractal. It uses fractal energy too. Okay. So you've got smaller gears, bigger gears, you got all this stuff going on. It's no longer linear, and not only that, I mean, if you think about that, it's a cycle and everything, it's not just one dimensional, if you will. I mean, think about why time is recorded, why time is kept, if you will. You look at, everybody was looking at the solar system. You got 4 seasons. You got the Earth's trajectory around the sun. But people don't realize that our sun is moving also through the galaxy. So, and we're never in the same place twice. No matter how many times you think you are, you might be on the same place on Earth twice, but in the universe, no, you're not. We're constantly moving. So keep that in mind as time goes on. Keep that in mind that that we'll never be in the same place twice. We're all constantly having to go and go and go. And that is that's our natural state. It's natural. Let's see. So we talked about audio, radio. Time's not linear. Humankind is going through a new era. Okay, and that is a fact. The old world, it's gone. That's already gone. And if you haven't seen it, sorry, there's nothing we can do for you about that. Um, but we have a newer world order, if you will. I call it disorder because it's only orderly to some. For most of the rest of us who are trying to play catch up, it's disorderly as heck. But so it's a new world disorder, or newer world disorder, because it's newer. We're in the in between stages of the new, of the old and the new, and you can't think of it like the old world of Europe versus the new world. The Americas. America's been there all this time, okay, and there have been people on in the Americas all this time. The Egyptians had come over, or the ancients came over, and they built structures that are very similar, with similar symbols that you find from in South America. You also find them in Egypt, and you find them in Angkor Wat, and all the ancient sites. So it's you can't say the continental continents of the planet are our world. Okay. Anyway, so we're going through this new era, and everything's topsy-turvy. Everything's just bizarre and weird, and like, what in the heck is going on? We're talking about ET type, right? And I just heard something this morning that says that they were saying that no, ET is not from extraterrestrial. It's not extraterrestrial at all. They've been here. Whatever these things are, they've been here all this time. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting disclosure when that happens. And I think that, I think most of us are frustrated because humans are relatively intelligent, and I think they can handle the news. If you just go ahead, if these governments and controllers just went ahead and spit out all the truth about things, we could handle it. We're not going to go, racing around like our hair's on fire. Some people will, because they would already do so. If you told those same people 65 years ago that ketchup was green, they would, there's some that's given to that kind of thing. Anyway, so, another thing too, another reason why we were evolving is we also saw on the wall that Skype was going to go away. We saw that Microsoft is going to go away. Like I said, the legacy programs and such, they're going to go away because they can't keep up. They're bloated. They're patchworks. Now people are talking about the new Microsoft and everything, and it's so wonderful. No, it's not. It's the same problem. It's the same problem. It's all those backdoors that are built into your computers and the programs that are giving away your information all the time. You didn't sign up for this, and you certainly didn't sign up for a freaking, scroll of not disclosure of well, yeah, I guess they call it disclosure, but fine print of agreements in terms and agreements. It's like a huge legal document. Like, I mean, corporations, do they go through all that too when they have to do mergers and whatnot? Jeez. And corporations at least have a bunch of freaking lawyers there to parse through it. I want to use an app, and it's like I have to read for 3 days, all this stuff that they've got on there. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so Microsoft Skype, it's going away. As you know, the news broke recently that Skype is going to be closing down in May. And a lot of people, those of you who are falling behind, if you're lollygagging about this, don't procrastinate. You need to find an alternative means to communicate. I would highly recommend everybody do great research. You need to research before you get on Telegram. You need to research about, before you get on Signal. Okay. There are a lot of so-called secured networks and secured forms of communication and platforms out there that are not secure. Well, they're secure. All right. They're secure for the government and the controllers and the people who are spying on you. Okay. But, they're not secured for you. You need to start schooling yourself on security. If you don't know all this stuff, but you know somebody who knows this stuff, talk to them, ask them questions, and don't fight with them. Don't sit there, but no, listen. Just listen to them and learn from them. that way you can operate for yourself. And once you get comfortable operating for yourself, you can help others. Okay. But fighting with the person who knows something, who's trying to show you, because it's outside of your normal process of thought. Your patterns of thought are going to be changed using these newer systems or these newer services. I would look to who is the who's the government going with? You know, what platforms are they using? You know, it's like I wouldn't trust any. You know, if something has had a lot of leaks, has had a lot of hacking done, don't go with that. Anyway, okay. So I think I've got enough on that. So encryption and privacy is very important. You're going to need to listen, guys. When you first set up a communication system and you're going to go into, you know, it's like Signal, whatever. If there's encryption and hashtag or hash phrases and things like that, record it. Okay. I literally the communication system that I'm using, I actually physically wrote down the hash. Okay. You know why? Because I can carry that in my purse, you know, and if I have to, you know, sign in on another system, another computer somewhere else, I can use that. And, you know, that's old school. Yep. I'm a little bit older, so I get to use handwritten notes. Yep. Anyway, but always keep a copy so that you can, you know, so that you can get back on and log in and verify that it's you, and your people who that you are in contact with can trust that it's really you because you have taken down the hash phrase, excuse me. Encryption, privacy. Yep, privacy is what you make it. If you're going to be private, be private. If you're not, all right. Oh, and the most important reason, truth refugee. I was talking about it. Truth refugee. It's there's no censorship. You're responsible for your own thing. You're responsible for your own content, which I think is great. So if I'm like, you know, screw Iran or screw whatever, you know, that's up to me. We're not gonna police people. All right. We don't put up with trolls either. You know, we do definitely have the motto of FAFO. Okay. Fuck around, find out. Yes. This, we had to learn this. We had to learn it ourselves, and you're going to have to learn it. Everybody's going to have to learn this. You know, the FAFO rule is in effect. All right. And that started, well, quite a long time ago, but it's not just karma. It's also, you know, people are getting perturbed. What do we have now? I mean, think about it this way. In our society, we've got a lot of women who are griping because there's no men around. They're not asking women out and think, well, because womankind and all these politically motivated people, I'm trying to find a word for it, have been acting like shrews, you know, absolute shrews. Why would a man want to be near that? Ooh. You know, most of us can't stand it. But anyway, so I don't know why I got into that topic right there, but it's okay. So the thing is, it's like, you know, things are different. Things are different now, so we have to get back on there. So anyway, uncensored. Oh, 2020. That's where I was going. Sorry, I found my pathway here. So 2020 came around, and of course we had the COVID and that huge lie. Now I just found out recently that, you know, how we were all talking about Bill Gates and who was that other, the WHO, and all these different, you know, big wigs and everything like that. We're trying to do population control and the Georgia Guidestones, right? Well, what people don't know is that, and I just found out, I didn't know, is actually in writing as policy in government that we need to ensure that we're below 8 billion people on the planet. So as soon as we reached 8 billion people, we started reaching 8 billion people population on our planet. They decided what they thought is 8 billion. Let's just leave it there. That COVID busts out. Of course, they're going to have to reduce the population. Isn't that nice? And they get to pick who, you know, and then, or they just decided to just pell-mell throw this thing out there and throw all the vaccines out there to kill the people off. And who did they harm the worst? Who was the biggest portion of society that got harmed by these shots. Athletes, military, physically fit people, the people in the age group that's supposed to be populating, having children right now. The most it's horrid. It's just horrid, and it's worldwide. This is not just, see, the COVID itself, when it first came out and, started leaking out and everything like that, the first 14 victims, you ready for this? Because, yeah, you won't find this on the internet anymore, but it was out there. The tracker for the COVID deaths worldwide. And I don't know if it was JAMA or Lancet, or if it was a coordinated effort between medical authorities, posting this stuff. But the first 14 deaths were actually, I think, if we're talking about genetic, we're talking about modified messenger RNA. That was, it couldn't have been anybody other than aged, male, Asian, diabetic, comorbid, older Asian males for the first 14 deaths. Yeah, that's gone. That information is gone. So I remember it, and it's like, and I remember when it disappeared, when that information disappeared. It's like, whoa, where'd you go? Because those were patient zero, if you will, or ground zero, if you will. Yeah, we all know the truth about the nonsense, this bat virus and all that stuff. Remember all the chaos and everything? They were just shutting everything down. Oh, anyway, so that helped introduce the whole new world too, and it was there was multitudinous purposes for that operation. It was also to destroy Donald Trump. Now, if you recall, I think it was in 2018 or 2019, I believe it was Politico that did an article called "The Purell President," because he was a germaphobe. Donald Trump is a germaphobe. Okay, so when that thing came out, he was like, grr, it's kind of like throwing a roach at me or something like that. I'm going to freak out and stuff, Yeah, truth refugee. See? Yep, I got my mug. Anyway, all right. So, okay, so that's how there was a lot of purposes of the COVID, this COVID operation. That's what I like to call it. Unfortunately, people have died, and not because of the actual COVID. Well, yeah, there were some people that died because of the COVID. I have a friend whose dad died from kidney he had kidney dialysis. That's what it was. And he went into the clinic. He was fine until he went to the clinic to get his dialysis, and then he got the COVID there. Yeah, nice. Anyway, so it was the vaccine. Vaccines. And I think, and I really encourage Americans to not let Bobby Kennedy not do what he was supposed to do, what we have basically, told him to do. Same thing with Trump. There are things that they promised, and I say promised because they repeatedly said they were going to do these things. And like all the files, we want the files. That's all there is to it. But RFK Jr., Bobby Jr., he's all about MAHA, make America healthy again. But vaccine schedule is still going. Okay. We have a problem with that. There's a lot of bad things going on. And I think there's a lot of controllers holding around him. But the thing is, folks, you have to go in bold and big and blast. You've got to go in. When you think of any executive officer of any corporation, and they're taking, it's a takeover of the corporation. What do? They don't come in and make everything, oh, we're going to do everything the way you were doing it, especially if it was a company that needed to be rescued from bad stuff. You go in and you start firing people. Look at what Elon Musk did with Twitter. Okay. Not kidding, man. It's like he fired 80% of the people because they were shit. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it because I was watching the videos, these girls going into work at Twitter in San Francisco, and they've got a wine bar, they've got a yoga room, they've got go to work. And it just drove me nuts. It's like And I'm seeing a lot of cupcakes. I'm going to call them cupcakes. A lot of cupcakes complaining, griping, and pissed off because they have to go to work. When they go to work, they have to work. They don't like that. And I'm wondering, it's like, how the hell did we get here? How did this happen? But there's a lot of ways that happened. And so, I don't want to go into that now. But anyway, so we've got a new presidency, and it's not like the old presidency. I'll say that, because this presidency, literally, Trump's picture is a mugshot. Okay, it's a mugshot for a White House photo. Seriously. And if anybody's listening or knows anybody who's talking to them up there, please do me a favor. Tell JD Vance that he needs a new administration photo. That one is horrible. That is the most horrible photograph of him ever. I mean, it's just bad. That thing. The photographer hated them. The photographer hated JD Vance. I don't know why, but whoever that photographer is, you can tell if a photographer likes the subject. You can tell. Okay. I've seen photographs of people who are plain as anything, but I'm like, wow, whoever that photographer is, they are in love with that person. You can tell. Anyway. Okay. So new presidency, world chaos. What do we got? Ukraine. We got Iran, of course, Iran, bomb, Iran. Yeah, stop already. Iran is not the enemy that they've been proclaiming that they were. They're not that. Okay, I'm just so tired of it. It's been my whole life they've been screaming about Iran. Okay, stop. You've got an absolute genocide taking place in Gaza. That's genocide. And if don't come at me, well, but the Jews in the Holocaust, well, the Gazans didn't do it, and those children. I'm tired of seeing the freaking riddled bodies of the absolute shredding of this land and people. This is criminal, and I'm really pissed at Donald Trump for not stopping it. It hasn't stopped. And I'm really pissed about that. Okay, because he's the one who said that he doesn't like death. He won so many hearts. So many hearts bloomed when he was on the campaign trail, when he said, I want to stop the deaths. And he was talking about Ukraine, but he was talking about all the deaths. He want to stop the deaths. Oh, let's do, you think? Anyway, I didn't mean to go there. But so we've got world chaos. We're finding out more information about Africa and AFRICOM. We're finding out all the stuff that's been going on there, and the absolute raping of their resources. It's insane. It's really, most people want to do honest business with others. Okay, we don't. It's like if I would go buy a value or a good, some goods, I want to buy good value and everything like that, and I want to honor the person who's giving me the product, and I'm giving them the money and what it's worth. I don't want to steal it from them. I don't want it for free. I don't want the charity. I don't want it. We don't want to steal it from them. So anyway, the chaos in Africa, if you think about it, all that stuff that was going on during the 80s. Do you remember that? What is it? We Are the World and We Are the Children and all that Farm Aid and all. That was fraud, folks. Go ahead and look into it. That was also a fraud. And that broke my heart. I was part of the singing kids, for the, to raise money, for the poor Africans, Why is it that we are constantly trying to raise money for other people, but we've got people on food stamps here? We got people who are hungry and homeless and stuff. And I'm not talking about the people who refuse to go work. I'm not talking about the people who are, on the streets by choice. There are some that are not. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. There's people who choose to be that way. They want to be on the streets, but there's also people who really don't want to. The family, mom and a dad and kids, they're living in their car. They don't have money. And to hear the rhetoric of some people saying, shut off all the food stamps. No. I don't mind that my taxes are going to feed Americans. And I'm not talking about Coca-Cola or chips and things like that. Feed them food, stuff that makes your stomach say, I got food. Yay. So that children can think. And adults, if you're not eating, by the way, adults, if you don't eat, you're not going to be able to think right. Okay. Just so you know, heads up. Anyway, so the chaos there is, I think it's manufactured by politicians and by having the constant warring, pro pro food stamps, anti food stamps, pro soda, anti soda, MAGA, all this stuff, and everybody warring against each other. This is just like NFL. Okay. You got the Titans versus the freaking, I'm sorry, I don't do football anymore. Titans and Cowboys, just say Titans and Cowboys. And they're battling each other. Oh, the Titans, and the fans are just roaring in approval and in support of their favorite team. And everybody's, like, yeah, we're better than you. And nobody's thinking about the people who own the teams and who own the NFL. The NFL. It's controlled fighting. Yeah. So the thing is it's a fake thing. It's like, just like the boxing match. Yeah. Ali was better than Frazier. What? The boxing. They're the ones who have their arena. They're the ones making the money and everything, and just motivating people to do these ugly, fake wars. Now, the real wars, military-industrial complex, that's different. Okay, people's lives are dying. There's people dying out there, and I'm tired of it. But anyway, so anyway, what you're seeing here is that here on Rumble, when you go to Truth Refugee, you're seeing new alternative media. And we're truly alternative because we're alternative to the alternative. It's not because we're contrarians. We just see the writing on the wall, and we know that, we're not going to have, we don't have sponsors. Just so you know, we don't have sponsors. We're all doing this on our own. We are truly listener supported. So if you're looking for others like Brooks Agnew, you're looking for Paisley Wild, you're looking for Pharmacy Seeds Network, you're looking for Zach Hubbard of Gematria, however you say that, the numbers guy. Yeah, you got to watch him too. He's great. Okay. Twin Flame Divine Fire, they're starting to roll out again too. And they've been thrown for a loop too. We all have. So you can support all of us. You can support us on Truth Refugee. You can go to all those different channels and you can support them directly. Okay. You can support me too. And you can see on my banner there, right below, right there. See that? You can follow. You can, I didn't put the, in the description, you'll see my PayPal. If you want it, description to this video, you can see the PayPal link. So, and I would appreciate it. Yeah. But that's what we're here for. But we can't not do this. That's the problem. It's like, we can't not talk about it. We're just not good at that. We're always going to run our mouths about this stuff because we can't not do so, Anyway, so I just wanted to refresh, basically let everybody know who's what, where, when. And I hope I didn't forget something. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Hang on. Did I miss somebody? I hope I didn't. I don't think I did. Anyway, I just want to say, I just wanted to shout out and thank everybody for the support thus far. And I want to say thanks to Freeman for making this thing happen. He's the genius behind the whole thing. He did it. He's like doing the magic thing. Anyway, okay, guys, I'm going to let you guys go with that. Today is what? Wow. Today is March 24th. We just had the solstice and, the equinox and the equilune, luna equa, whatever. It's like equal sun, equal night. Anyway, and we had an eclipse too. So there's going to be one coming up, solar eclipse coming up somewhere, probably in India or something. I don't know. Anyway, so keep an eye on that. Just keep, stay sane, right? All right. And keep, keep your counsel keep those who's close to you in counseling. It's like your friends, touch base with them and make sure that you're connecting. All right. Don't go about this alone. That's the one thing you shouldn't do. Going about this alone is going to make it very, very miserable. Anyway, so I think that takes care of all of that. And I want to say thank you again. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.